What's going on, guys? It's Nick here, back with another video. Seattle Seahawks at the Green Bay Packers. This game currently has a 47-point total, and the Packers are 4-point home favorites. I think this is my favorite game of the week. Texans at Chiefs is really close. They should both be really good games, but we've got Wilson versus Aaron Rodgers. Should be epic, so I'm really excited to watch this one. For the breakdown, we're going to start off with the Seattle side, where everything runs through Russell Wilson. Last week, I said the Seahawks had a much better chance of winning the game if they featured Wilson and just abandoned the run altogether. And while the Wentz injury obviously made the Seahawks' job easier because it's an obvious downgrade going to McCown, they still went in with that exact game plan. Wilson either threw the ball or ran the ball on 39 plays, and the other 17 went to Homer and Lynch. And so it's worth noting, well, what happened on those plays? The 39 Russell Wilson plays resulted in 370 yards. Then the 17 non-Russell Wilson plays resulted in 19 yards. So that's 9.5 yards per play on Wilson plays, and the other plays went for 1.1 yards per play. This week, the narrative is the exact same. If Seattle is going to go down, then it better be featuring their hyperly efficient quarterback instead of their hyperly inefficient ground game. Doesn't that just make sense? And the Packers are obviously attackable on the ground, but they don't have Rashad Penny. They don't have Chris Carson. They have Travis Homer and the corpse of Marshawn Lynch. So even if they're attackable on the ground, they're not a horrible run defense. So you don't want to lose the game by just giving the ball to Homer and Lynch a bunch of times when you've got such an amazing aerial attack. Also, there's no way that the Packers offense is only going to score 9 points like the Eagles did last week. So Seattle's gonna need to score in this one, and featuring Russell Wilson is their best chance of doing so. One thing worth paying attention to is the health of Dwayne Brown and Mikey Apati. Both missed last week, and they were clearly missed if you watched how bad they were running the football. It looks like Brown is closer to playing than Apati, but just check Roto World, check Twitter before kickoff, and you'll get news on that. If both guys miss, then it's going to be really tough for their ground game, and I very much expect them to lean pass heavy. If one or both are active, then it'll definitely help them a lot. Not only on the ground game, it'll help them passing the ball as well. When they do throw the ball, which, like I said, they should do a lot, they've got a great combination with Lockett and Metcalf. Both of these guys have their unique skill sets, but they're also both really good downfield, and we all know how good Wilson is at buying time for his receivers to get open downfield. So if they choose to throw the ball a bunch, then they can definitely put up points against the Packers and do so pretty quickly on explosive plays. Looking at the Packers defense, it's nothing crazy. They're not bad. They're not elite. They're pretty much average, especially defending the pass. So it's not a unit that they're going to have to game plan for specifically. This isn't a team where it's like you have to throw it, they can stop the run, or you have to run it, they can stop the pass. They can kind of just go in with the game plan that they want. On the Packers side, they have the luxury of playing a little bit more balanced than Seattle does. Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams are a great combination, and they're both very capable in the receiving game. So no matter which one's on the field, they don't give away their play call. And they're not really sacrificing a ton by keeping Jones fresh and bringing in Williams from time to time. Obviously, everyone knows Jamal Williams is slightly worse than Aaron Jones, right? He's not as good. But he does have his strengths. He's a little bit better at pass protection. And they don't need to keep Aaron Jones on the field. If you had like the Giants in the playoffs, they need Barkley on the field every single play. But the Packers have the luxury of saying, you know what, Aaron Jones does get hurt a lot. Let's only give him these 20 touches because we have a guy we trust to put onto the field and give Jones a little bit of a break. On the season, they had the third ranked rush offense in terms of DVOA. PFF gave them the seventh best run blocking grade, while Jones and Williams combined for nearly 2,300 yards and 25 touchdowns. So these guys are used a lot. When they throw the ball, Devonta Adams is pretty likely to be successful. Only John Ross had fewer than 100 receiving yards on double-digit targets against Seattle, while Adams had at least 10 targets in 8 of his last 9 games. He's probably going to have double-digit targets. He's probably going to go over 100 yards, and he is a good bet to score a touchdown as well, so he should have a nice game. The Lazard King has been starting over MVS and Allison. He's been playing around 75% of snaps and is now the clear number 2 wide receiver. And then the last piece I'll talk about is Jimmy Graham. He's essentially dust at this point, but Seattle does struggle to defend the tight end position, so it's possible they try to feature him a little bit more than usual. Doesn't mean he'll be successful, but it's possible they try to get him going, given that that's a weakness for Seattle. Ultimately, the Packers scored the 6th most points per game at home this season, and we should expect them to score at least into the mid to low 20s. I don't really see a scenario where they score lower than 20, but I would expect them to be at a minimum in that 24 to 26 range. So how do I see the game playing out? Like I said at the start, this is probably my favorite game on the weekend because I do think Seattle features Russell Wilson, and I think they'll be able to put up points on the Packers. I also think that Seattle has a good defense, but not a great defense, and the Packers will be able to respond with points of their own. So I think and hope that we're going to see a lot of scoring in this game, and it should be fun to watch. I agree with the Packers being favorites in this one. Being at home and having the bye certainly helps, and I think that they're a slightly more complete team given the injuries at running back for the Seahawks. So I'll be picking the Packers to win a close game, 30-27. So that'll do it for my breakdown of this game. You can find my other game breakdowns this week on the FFA Sports Betting channel. And a link to that is in the description box down below. But that's the end of this one. I hope you all did enjoy. If you did, how about hitting the like button? And if you're new here, how about subscribing to the channel? But thanks for watching.